I'm Heather. I am located in southeastern Wisconsin in the US. The area that I live in was historically home to several Native American tribes. The Potawatomi, I'm looking at this because I don't remember because there were several. The Potawatomi, Chippewa, Menominee, and Winnebago tribes. Um, Historically occupied the county that I live in. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I typically work with trauma survivors, and I'm so thrilled to have found EQUUSOMA. I was doing research last year, found it in amongst all of um, what I was looking for. My 20-year dream from 20 years ago was to do equine assisted psychotherapy. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. And so it's a dream come true to be here because this is embodying the work that I already do and know with a bottom up approach, still building in a top down at times where it's needed, but a bottom up approach, but while honoring the equine that's going to assist in the process. And so it just felt like a universal gift of like, hey, here's the one. And I was like, yes. And then I also have my mare, Rhianna, who I've is 19 this year, and I might get emotional again. Um, I've had her since she was 3 and went through all the standard old style training with her that I was taught. And so I did the trauma to her and broke her and emotionally and physically. Um, and then 3 years ago, thanks to my current barn owner and now kind of coach, trainer, friend, realized that she was shut down, like just completely shut down, and have been on a 3-year journey of helping her come out of shutdown. Because she used to have, like, she would have explosive moments that would, of course, come out of nowhere. And I know now much more of what was happening. And, but yeah, helping her come out of shutdown and find a voice and have a no. And then medical stuff along the way because of the 13 years prior of trauma, and caring for that and finding working through incredible amounts of guilt and shame on my part, um, and working to let that go, but rebuilding trust. And this work is coinciding just amazingly with also the work that I'm doing with her. And so I'm just beyond grateful to be here.
Thanks, Heather. I think, and I appreciate your candor in naming, because we've all made mistakes. We've all not gotten it right at times, and still, I mean, we're fallible beings. We're capable of error and misattunement, and working off of what we've learned or how we were parented or how we were trained or what have you. And there's long lineages of that, trainers who themselves were parented in particular ways who pass it along, right? And we pass it along and we pass it along. And so thank you for being willing to name that in such a candid way, um, because I think that's some of the things that gets in the way for folks sometimes is the guilt and the shame and the don't look at me and I can't look at this and I can't touch that. And it's like, and how can we support being more present to that which we don't want to be present to so it can move through and release its hold? You know, guilt and shame and are no different from incomplete fight or incomplete whatever. Like there's all these things that we get to be present to. And I think collectively hold So thank you also for your willingness to be brave and to name that also, because I think there can sometimes be the response of, well, I can't name the thing that I've done wrong because I'll be rejected or I'll be seen a particular way. God, I've made mistakes, like, and so especially like, I think of my mare who passed, and I think, gosh, like, I have different things that I regret, in terms of, oh, I wish I could have done this differently, or I wish I could have done that differently. And then I look at what she did get to have from me, and that was better than what other horses get. And we had a really beautiful relationship. And so it's like, how can we sit with this as a bigger journey and a bigger collective? And we're all at different spots in that journey. There's stuff I've figured out, and there's stuff I'm still figuring out. There's stuff you figured out, and there's stuff that you're still figuring out. And we're all there together. Like, I'm here, but I'm not any more special than any of you. I'm just me, right? I have some stuff I want to share that I think is really important, but I'm still just a human, you know. So thank you for being willing to name that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
May I add something, Sarah, to what just
Please.
been said?
Yeah.
I'm very touched by this because very often when we are making so-called mistakes, we take it very personal. And I have come to experience that a lot of mistakes we make are not alone our own reenactments or reenactments that are just concerning me, but they are more collective. And if we can see it as that, we can also embrace, I think, more openly that there is, with each reenactment, there is a magnificent opportunity for repair. Because the reenactment in and of itself brought to my attention that there is something that maybe I wasn't so aware of. And as the reenactment shows up, yes, it's uncomfortable. And if we hold more and more often and together, and we support each other in that, the perspective that, yes, and we get to repair something, and not just for me, and not just for my horse, but what if we repair something for something bigger? And I really like to think that way, because then like the stuff that we're feeling that is so uncomfortable isn't something that we need to hide.
Thank you for that. Had a big misattunement with her on Monday and repaired it promptly. And she came right around. And then I didn't hold the shame or guilt from it, which everything we've watched up to this point with EQUUSOMA is also helping with, along with my own personal therapy. But it's all just blending together. And then it's also trickling down to my human clients because they make mistakes. And then I can just help them be humble about it and go, yeah, well, yeah, but of course you made the mistake. It's fine. Like, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Like, we feel the feelings and we move through, and then we do and then what's next? So thank you. It's been wonderful and a beautiful process.
That's it. The shifts is like, what's the turnaround time like now, and right, it's so much shorter, and it's like, yeah, Heather.
60 seconds. 60 seconds. And she was able, and also, and she never went out of her, like, she was like way activated and cantering around the round pen. And then we kind of grabbed her. She had a good buck, like, while still attached, but she had a weird, my trainer is actually the one who got a hold of her halter. She's holding an iced coffee. She bucked while my trainer's holding her. Only one drop came out of the iced coffee, and she did not run over my trainer. And she has run over a trainer in the past and, like, full on knocked her down. And she bucked while standing there. And then I got the lunge line, and then we, like, just walked. And within 5 minutes, she was like, oh, yeah, what's up? Everything's fine. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
It's like we back it up and we back it up and we back it up, and we try to catch it sooner and sooner and sooner, and grow the capacity and have it be different. And every one of those things is an opportunity for a do-over. Every single one. And so it's like, it's so humbling when we can approach it that way. It's such forgiving work when we can approach it that way. And that's why we keep doing this, because it isn't going to be perfect. We're going to mess up, and each thing is an opportunity for a different experience. The repair of misattunement is in itself the healing process. Like, that is the thing, right? We're not going to get it perfectly. We're going to misattune on the path to attunement, and that is what leads to attunement, is the misattunements getting sorted out and course corrected and going, oh, okay, that led to that. Okay, no problem. Cool. Sorry about that. Let's readjust. And having enough regulation on board to notice it so that we don't have the thing play out again in the same way. What gets to be different? What wants to happen next, like you were saying? So wonderful examples. Thanks, Heather. Yeah.
Sarah, I just wanted to add in
Yeah.
that the acknowledgement to the horse is so important. There are so many times when I've had to say to my horse, I am so sorry, but I just screwed that up royally, and let's try it again.
A lot of this work, people will join our program because they're like, oh, some people join the program because they're like, ooh, I want to learn how to heal the horse's trauma. That sounds really sexy. Let's do the thing. And yes, that's part of it, right? Like, the people are like, ooh, I want to heal horse trauma. And it's like, yes, and that's part of it. And because the equines that we're involved with are all in domestication, they are all in relationship with humans. And a large part of the traumas that are experienced are in relation to humans. And so that means we need to heal ourselves as well in this process. What's that quote? Physician, heal thyself, right? I want to heal all these patients, right? Have you looked at yourself in the equation? And so it is very much that. And the more we heal ourselves, the more actually we are able to support something different for those animals. And that is part of this work. So yes, while we do talk about equine as client, and we get more into that as we go along throughout the program, humans will inextricably be part of this the entire time. Yeah, we can't remove the human from the equation. So even if you are an equine professional and you're here because you're like, oh, I'm an equine body worker, let's say, or I'm a horse trainer, and that's your primary thing, and you're not doing some variant of equine assisted whatever, right? And that's your scope. But even the equine professionals who are there to work with the equine as client, you're always dealing with the owner or the rider as well. And so you're always holding both. So we're trying to hold this balance of holding, how do we work with both species? And human trauma and the parallel process of the human experience and the animals mirroring or reflecting the human's experience and sharing a similar medical issue or a similar theme or a similar pattern or a similar thing is going to keep happening. And so yeah, so we get to show up differently each time for them and acknowledge. And that is part of helping them heal in the long of the short of it. And there's other stuff specifically, like how are we applying all this to them specifically also? And we're a big part of it.